Imagine a man who doesn't just dream about the future, he builds it. A man who looks at the impossible and says, "I'll make it happen." Elon Musk isn't just a tech billionaire. He's a symbol of relentless ambition, a modern-day inventor shaping how we live, drive, and even reach for the stars. But his story didn't start in boardrooms or on the cover of magazines. It began in obscurity, in a world far removed from Silicon Valley's glittering lights. By the time most of us were figuring out our first jobs or paying off student loans, Musk was already envisioning electric cars that would dominate the roads and rockets that could land themselves back on Earth. Yet, behind the headlines of Tesla and SpaceX, there's a story of loneliness, struggle, and audacity that few truly understand. Here's a shocking fact. At one point, Musk was so close to bankruptcy that he slept on the factory floor just to save money. He invested his last $100,000 into his companies, knowing that failure would mean losing everything: home, reputation, even his marriage. And yet, he pressed on. Why? Because he wasn't motivated by money alone. He was driven by a vision bigger than himself, a vision to change humanity's future. In the next 20 minutes, you're about to see Elon Musk not as the billionaire you read about, but as the human being who fought through doubt, ridicule, and near impossible odds. You'll uncover the early sparks that ignited his genius, the risks that almost destroyed him, and the moments of triumph that turned him into a legend. Stay with me, because by the end of the story, you'll understand how one man's relentless pursuit of audacious goals transformed industries, inspired millions, and redefined what it means to dream without limits. You might be wondering, why spend 20 minutes on one man's story? After all, Elon Musk is everywhere in the news, trending on social media, and dominating headlines with his latest ventures. But here's the thing, what most people see is only the surface. The flashy rockets, the sleek Teslas, and the billion-dollar net worth. What they don't see is the blueprint of resilience, ambition, and audacity behind it all. By watching this story, you'll uncover lessons that go far beyond entrepreneurship. You'll see how Musk turned failure into fuel, transforming near-catastrophic setbacks into stepping stones. You'll learn how vision, clear, uncompromising, and almost obsessive, can become a superpower, even when the odds are stacked against you. This isn't just a story about money or fame. It's about mindset, about what it takes to bet everything on a dream no one else believes in. You'll see the human side of genius, the doubts, the sacrifices, and the sleepless nights. You'll understand the grit behind the headlines and the choices that separated Musk from countless others who gave up long before reaching their potential. And perhaps most importantly, this story will challenge the way you think about risk, failure, and ambition. It will make you question your own limits and ask, what could I achieve if I refused to settle? If I pushed past fear, ridicule, and uncertainty? By the end, you'll not only know the rise of one of the most influential figures of our time, you'll gain insight into the strategies, mindset, and courage that turned a once obscure South African boy into the driving force behind Tesla, SpaceX, and the future itself. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa, into a world that would never have predicted the legend he would become. From the outside, it seemed like a normal childhood. He had a father, a mother, and 2 siblings. But beneath the surface, his early life was anything but ordinary. Musk was different, intensely curious, relentlessly inquisitive, and socially isolated. He spent hours buried in books, learning everything from physics to science fiction. While other kids were playing outside, Elon was building his own computers at the age of 12. School was not a refuge. Musk was bullied relentlessly, sometimes violently, enduring beatings that would have broken most children's spirits. Yet, instead of retreating, he turned inward, into his imagination, into the world of ideas, into the future. It was during these lonely years that a seed was planted. The belief that knowledge, innovation, and intelligence could be a way out of any obstacle. But Musk's curiosity wasn't just academic. He was fascinated by technology, space, and the potential to reshape the world. He read every book he could find about rockets and computers, devouring information at a pace few could match. By the time he was a teenager, he had already coded and sold his first software, a game called Blaster, which earned him $500. It may seem modest, but for Elon, it was proof. His ideas could translate into real-world results. The isolation, the hardships, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge created a mindset that would define his future. Audacious, uncompromising, and almost fearless. While other children were navigating adolescence, Elon was preparing for a life of risks far beyond his peers' imagination. And yet, despite these early successes, the real challenges and the world-changing moments were still ahead. It was a childhood built on intellect and solitude, a combination that would shape a man who refused to accept the ordinary. Little did anyone know that the boy who sat alone with his books in Pretoria would one day dream of colonizing Mars. By the time Elon Musk left South Africa for Canada at age 17, he wasn't just chasing a better life. He was chasing a world he could reinvent. He arrived with little money, no clear roadmap, and a hunger that would define his entire career. Musk's first ventures were modest, almost experimental, but they revealed a pattern that would become his signature. Relentless pursuit, high risk, and audacious vision. In Canada, Elon enrolled at Queen's University, but his focus wasn't just on academics. He began exploring the possibilities of the digital age, reading voraciously about technology, energy, and entrepreneurship. In 1995, after transferring to the University of Pennsylvania, he co-founded his first real company, Zip2, with his brother Kimball. Zip2 was a city guide software, a precursor to what we now think of as Yelp or Google Maps. But in its early days, it was nothing more than a two-man operation coding out of a small office, struggling to get clients to take them seriously. Despite the modest beginnings, Musk's ambition was already apparent. He lived frugally, reinvesting every penny into the business, often sleeping on the office floor to save money. His vision wasn't just to create a small tech company. He wanted to revolutionize the way people accessed information online. And when Compaq acquired Zip2 for nearly $300 million in 1999, Musk's first big success was born. But it was just a taste of what he was capable of. He didn't stop there. With the proceeds from Zip2, Musk founded X.com, an online payment company, which would eventually become PayPal. Many investors thought it was a gamble, an online bank in a world still skeptical of digital finance. But Musk had a knack for seeing possibilities others couldn't. When PayPal was sold to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk's stake turned him into a billionaire before he even hit 31. These early ventures weren't just about money, they were training grounds. They taught Musk how to take risks that seemed insane, how to push through skepticism, and how to bet everything on a vision he alone could see. It was a blueprint that would serve him in the much larger challenges ahead. Electric cars, rockets, and a dream to make humanity multiplanetary. Success came early for Musk, but the next chapter of his life would test him in ways that money alone could never fix. After selling PayPal, he had wealth, but he didn't have security. He decided to plunge everything into two ventures that seemed impossible: Tesla, the electric car company, and SpaceX, the private space exploration company. And almost immediately, the world pushed back. SpaceX was founded in 2002 with a vision so audacious it felt almost delusional: build rockets that could land themselves and drastically reduce the cost of space travel. At the same time, Tesla was struggling to turn a prototype into a viable car, in an industry notorious for crushing startups. Investors were skeptical, engineers were cautious, and Musk, he bet his entire fortune. By 2008, the reality of risk hit hard. SpaceX's first 3 rocket launches failed. Each failure cost millions, and the media painted Musk as reckless. Tesla, meanwhile, was hemorrhaging money. Factories burned through cash faster than they could produce cars. Musk had invested his last $100 million of personal wealth and faced the terrifying possibility of losing everything. Friends, family, even his marriage were under strain. At one point, he admitted he was sleeping on the factory floor just to stay close to the work. The financial pressure wasn't the only challenge. He faced relentless public scrutiny and skepticism. Critics called him a dreamer with delusions of grandeur. Venture capitalists warned him to quit. And yet, despite the fear and uncertainty, Musk refused to back down. He doubled down, pushed engineers harder, and embraced risk that most would never dare. And then, Just when it seemed like everything might collapse, the tide began to turn. SpaceX succeeded with its fourth launch, securing a $1.6 billion NASA contract. Tesla released the Roadster, proving electric cars could be desirable and high-performance. Musk had stared into the abyss of failure and emerged stronger, his vision intact. These struggles weren't just obstacles, they were crucibles. They forged the resilience, tenacity, and audacity that would define Musk's career. From the brink of bankruptcy to the forefront of innovation, this period showed the world what it truly means to bet everything on a dream. By the late 2000s, Elon Musk wasn't just a tech entrepreneur, he had become a modern-day pioneer. Tesla and SpaceX were no longer side projects. They were his life's mission, the vessels through which he would reshape entire industries. But the challenges were immense, and the stakes were higher than ever. Tesla was battling an auto industry built on tradition. Every step was met with doubt. Critics scoffed at the idea of electric cars as viable alternatives to gasoline-powered vehicles. Supply chains faltered, and production bottlenecks became daily crises. Musk, however, refused to compromise. He famously said, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough." Under his relentless leadership, Tesla pushed boundaries, releasing the Roadster, then the Model S, and finally models that brought electric cars into the mainstream consciousness. Meanwhile, SpaceX was redefining space exploration. Traditional aerospace companies laughed at a private company attempting to launch reusable rockets. Yet Musk's obsession with efficiency and innovation led to the development of the Falcon 9, the first orbital rocket capable of returning safely to Earth. Each launch carried the weight of potential disaster, but Musk's vision was unwavering: make space travel affordable and lay the groundwork for colonizing Mars. The successful launch and landing of Falcon 9 became a historic moment, proving that private enterprise could achieve what was once reserved for government agencies. What made Musk extraordinary wasn't just his technical insight, it was his willingness to absorb risk that would terrify most people. He invested his own billions, pushed his engineers to limits, and lived under constant pressure. Yet this combination of vision, daring, and execution set him apart from anyone else in history. Tesla and SpaceX didn't just survive, they transformed entire industries. Electric cars became desirable, space exploration became privatized, and Musk's name became synonymous with innovation. He had taken the impossible and made it real, forcing the world to confront the future he had envisioned long before most of us even knew it existed. By the 2010s, Elon Musk had become more than an entrepreneur. He had become a global symbol of audacious vision and relentless ambition. Tesla's stock soared, electric cars became aspirational, and SpaceX was launching rockets with a precision that rivaled NASA. Musk had not only proven the skeptics wrong, he had changed the way the world thought about technology, innovation, and possibility. His net worth skyrocketed, making him one of the richest people on the planet. Yet wealth alone doesn't define Musk. What set him apart was his ability to capture imaginations. Every new project, from the Hyperloop concept to Neuralink and Starlink, felt like a glimpse into a sci-fi future being made real. People didn't just follow Musk because of money. They followed him because he dared to dream on a scale few could even comprehend. Cultural influence followed naturally. Musk became a household name, referenced in movies, memes, and social media debates. He was both admired and critiqued, a polarizing figure whose life inspired awe and controversy in equal measure. Yet despite his fame, Musk remained deeply hands-on, visiting Tesla factories at 3 a.m., supervising rocket tests, and obsessing over the smallest engineering details. For him, the peak wasn't about accolades. It was about achievement, pushing humanity forward, and redefining the boundaries of possibility. And yet, even at the height of his success, Musk's story was far from over. His ventures continued to face obstacles, public scrutiny intensified, and personal sacrifices piled up. The life of a visionary is never easy, and Musk's journey proves that even at the top, relentless pressure and high stakes never truly disappear. Elon Musk's rise to the top hasn't been without turbulence. The same audacity and relentless drive that fueled his success have also made him a lightning rod for controversy. From explosive tweets that sent stocks tumbling to public feuds with regulators, journalists, and even fellow entrepreneurs, Musk's boldness often courts criticism as much as it earns admiration. His management style is legendary. Some call it visionary, others describe it as brutally demanding. Stories of employees working 100-hour weeks, factory floors under extreme pressure, and Musk's intense micromanagement circulate widely. Yet, despite the tension, his approach has produced results few could match. Record-breaking launches, groundbreaking vehicles, and innovations that have reshaped industries. Musk's personal life has also drawn scrutiny. High-profile relationships, public divorces, and his unconventional social media presence have kept him in the headlines for reasons unrelated to technology or business. Critics argue that his eccentricity undermines his credibility, while fans see it as an authentic reflection of a mind that doesn't conform to norms. Even his ambitions, colonizing Mars, implanting neural devices in human brains, and creating a global satellite internet network, invite skepticism. Many call these ideas impossible or reckless, but history shows that revolutionary breakthroughs often appear ridiculous at first. The line between genius and controversy is thin, and Musk walks it constantly, proving that groundbreaking innovation rarely comes without friction. Ultimately, these controversies highlight the price of audacity. Musk's story teaches us that true innovation is messy, uncomfortable, and often misunderstood. To change the world, you have to risk criticism, alienation, and failure, and Musk is living proof of what that reality looks like. Elon Musk's journey offers lessons far beyond the realms of tech or finance. It's a masterclass in mindset, risk, and relentless pursuit of vision. First, Musk teaches us the power of audacious goals. He doesn't aim for small wins or easy victories. He tackles challenges that most people wouldn't even dream of attempting. From electric cars to reusable rockets, his philosophy is simple. If something is worth doing, it's worth doing on a scale that matters. Second, Musk shows that failure isn't the end, it's fuel. His early ventures, SpaceX's rocket failures, and Tesla's production nightmares could have crushed him. Instead, he embraced setbacks, learned from them, and used them to propel forward. It's a reminder that resilience often outweighs raw talent in the path to success. Third, he emphasizes relentless work ethic and personal investment. Musk doesn't delegate vision. He lives it, breathes it, and demands excellence. While extreme, this commitment highlights the importance of total immersion in your goals, a lesson that applies to any field. Finally, Musk exemplifies the value of thinking long-term. His ventures aren't about quick profits, they're about shaping the future. Whether it's advancing sustainable energy, democratizing space, or connecting the globe via satellites, his focus on lasting impact demonstrates how ambition paired with patience can create true legacy. In essence, Musk's story is a roadmap for those willing to challenge the status quo, embrace risk, and pursue audacious dreams relentlessly. It's proof that extraordinary outcomes require extraordinary courage. Elon Musk's journey from a lonely, curious boy in Pretoria to a global icon of innovation is a story of vision, perseverance, and unrelenting ambition. He didn't just stumble into success. He fought for it, bet everything on it, and endured failures that would have stopped most people in their tracks. Every rocket launch, every Tesla on the road, every ambitious idea reflects a man who refuses to accept the limits imposed by society, technology, or even physics itself. His legacy is more than wealth or fame. Musk has shown the world that audacious goals are achievable, that failure is not fatal, and that relentless pursuit of vision can redefine entire industries. He has transformed how we think about transportation, energy, and space, leaving a blueprint for innovation that will inspire generations to come. But Musk's story is also a reminder of the human cost of genius, the stress, controversy, and personal sacrifices that accompany great ambition. It's messy, intense, and often misunderstood, yet it is precisely this intensity that fuels progress. Ultimately, Elon Musk is not just a billionaire or an inventor. He is a symbol of what's possible when curiosity, courage, and resilience collide. From Obscurity to Tesla and SpaceX, from near bankruptcy to global icon, Musk's life teaches us that the path to greatness is never smooth, but the rewards, both personal and global, can be extraordinary. This is the story of a man who dared to dream bigger than the world, and in doing so, changed it forever.